I have done a post in the past saying equity investments is difficult. Now I am saying it's part 2 of that, if you could, if you think so. So equity investing is difficult, and let us compare it to looking at a animal in the wild, and let's pick the most fascinating animal, which is the tiger. There are many ways how you can see a tiger. One is you can go to a zoo. Many zoos have them in captivity and you can see them. The greatest Indian zoo is of course in Bhubaneswar, the Nandankanan Zoo. It is not very far away, maybe a 45-minute drive, an hour's drive from the city center. I don't exactly remember. It is the most fascinating zoo, but all the tigers are in captivity except 3-4 tigers which are left out in a 30-acre plot. So you can go and see them. That's one of the safest ways to see a tiger, and you will surely see a tiger. The second one is going to places like Tadoba or everything near that Nagpur belt, where the tigers are expecting you, which means they don't get excited seeing you. They know that you will come. They will walk past your jeep and you get bragging rights saying, well, it was within touching distance and you had enough wisdom not to touch it. Just because you watch them every day in BBC, it doesn't mean it's your friend, right? So you were smart enough not to touch it and excite it, and so you saw a tiger that closely. The third is when you see it in places like Kaziranga, where the tiger may not really be expecting you. It doesn't know that you are going to come, and the only way you can see it by sitting on an elephant. It is almost impossible seeing it in a jeep because the grass is 13 feet tall. Yes, you heard me right, it is 13 feet tall. And the fourth is when you accidentally go into some forest which is not a preserved forest. You just go there and you see a tiger which has never seen a human being, and then you know how the tiger would react, right? That's very different. Now take the case of equity. We all want to invest in equity, but we refuse to accept that equity is a wild animal. So it is like watching the Alaknanda or the Ganges right at the source. You know the speed at which the water goes and the noise that it makes, the gushing sound that it makes. But if you see it in Calcutta, by the time you see the Ganges in Calcutta, it's a calm old lady about to fall into the sea, right? So there it is not as turbulent as it is even Haridwar or north of Haridwar, right? So similarly, equity is like that. Equity will do things which you do not like. So when you buy a direct equity share, what happens is you create a portfolio of 10 shares. The top 2 or 3 give sensational returns, the next 1 or 2 give reasonable returns, and 4 or 5 of them lose money. This is the character of equity, especially if you are not a businessman building your own business. Then your portfolio will be in at least 10-15 shares to start with, maybe 50 shares, then you will go on pruning it, right? That is how it works. Now, mutual funds don't want to tell you that equity returns can be terribly one-sided. So you can get 82% return 1 year and get 0 for the next 4 or 5 years. Or you can get 82 followed by 12, followed by 6, and then followed by a minus 42, right? So they don't want to tell you that. So they keep telling you, oh, equities is good, SIP will work. That is true. Equities is good, SIP will work. But for SIP to work, you need patience. Maybe 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, patience is what you need, which perhaps many of these sales guys don't have, and they're unable to tell this to the end client. So they create products which look like, which says, oh, asset allocation. My fund manager knows when the markets will go down and when the markets will come up. Oh, what nonsense is this? First of all, there is nothing called a market. I mean, we look at a market only as an index, more for fun, right? How many people invest only in index? I'm not talking of investing 10% of your money in index or 20% of your money in index. Those are the category of people whom I think is what Warren Buffett says: when you do not know what you're doing, you diversify. So you have some money. Just imagine a diversified portfolio which has international equity, international debt, international, metals is of course international, energy, then you have mid cap, large cap, small cap, and you have debt, if you put 5% in 20 asset classes, life will be great. You will never lose money. If that is the aim, then it's a great thing to do. But you will never make money also, right? Because when one is doing well, other is doing bad, you don't have the conviction to bet your money on any one thing. So you say, thoda ye bhi le lo, thoda wo bhi le lo, thoda wo bhi. This happens to people who think that equity should be seen only in a zoo like a tiger. Fine, then don't get excited about seeing a tiger. You know, whatever you make faces at it, you throw stones at it, it can't do anything to you. That's not the way how you thought it will be exciting to see a tiger. Exciting to see a tiger is when a tiger is chasing you, or when something like you're sitting on a machan and you're looking at a tiger which has never seen a human being, right? That is exciting. When you're sitting in a jeep and the tiger knows you and it walks past you, I mean, looking at the Matkasur in Tadoba is no great fun, because Matkasur is perhaps extremely well photographed. Everybody knows it will come here at this time. It's too predictable. Equity is also like that. You have to have the thrill of spotting, thrill of it going up, thrill of finding that there are governance issues, the price falling. All these things will happen. If you think that by building dams all around the place the tiger can be tamed, you're wrong. You built a cage, right? So you create a mutual fund which says, oh, I will put some in large cap, some in mid cap, some this, and as a fund house you're not sure what you want to do. So you think, oh, I will buy direct equity large cap. Then you say, oh, large cap mein to paisa nahi ban sakta hai, because nobody will invest in my large cap because I can't generate alpha. So therefore a mid cap, therefore a small cap, therefore a healthcare, that an infrastructure, banking. And you say, oh, I run a restaurant, I have to keep everything. That's fine. Then you claim to be a restaurant. Don't claim to be the greatest cook. Don't claim to be specialized, that you will make this item very well, that you are not, right? And your staff has no guts to tell this to the end investor. So you are saying, okay, I will make khichdi, I will make idli, I will make everything, and anybody can pick up anything. And after the event, I'll say, see, that day I made idli so well, but then you didn't know. It was just an accident that idli did well, or idli came out well, right? You don't have a process by which you did it. So forget mutual funds whose fund managers are constantly looking over their shoulder or looking forward to saying which will do well. I mean, look at even a company like HDFC Mutual Fund. Now they've got 4 fund managers whom they have to market. I have no clue how are they going to do it. Are they going to say, oh, you remove some money from Prashant Jain and put it in Gopal Agarwal's fund? Or are they going to say, remove some money from Chirag's fund and put it in Prashant's fund? I mean, what are they going to do? But I have nothing against. I have money in all the 4 fund managers. I think Samir Arora, Naren, Prashant, Vinit Sambre, Roshi Jain, Anand Radhakrishnan, all of them are good fund managers. They have their own style. But I think there is huge style hampering also by the constant daily feedback that people have to give on what is happening to their NAV. I have no clue. I mean, to me, it doesn't work that way. I wouldn't want somebody looking over my shoulder on my portfolio on an hourly basis and saying, oh, your NAV has gone down, Naren's NAV has gone up. I can imagine the pressure younger fund managers have when older fund managers are performing. And I can imagine the pressure on older fund managers when younger fund managers are performing. They'll say, hey, yaar, you are past glory, your current is not doing well. I think it is difficult for fund managers to perform under such circumstances, and therefore you will be the sufferer. So be very careful while you are investing. Make sure that the fund manager has the guts to think very differently. And also understand that by nature, equity is a wild animal. You have to be careful how it works. In your portfolio of 10, 15 shares, there will be times when they're all performing badly. you should be able to take it. You should have the equanimity to sit tight, the meditative effort to sit tight, instead of saying, oh, I think equities PE is very high as a group, and therefore now I will put money into debt, into gold mining, into oil, into, I mean, I don't see why people don't have money in titanium. I mean, why? So everybody talks about diversification into gold. I mean, why are you not talking of diversification into copper, into titanium, into silver? Maybe they have more industrial uses, so why only gold? Why no horses, right? Why no animals? Why no animal farms, right? You could set up something in South Africa and that could make money. Why are we doing all this? Because we understand only 4 asset classes. So for us, diversification means equity, debt, gold, and perhaps real estate. But why not other asset classes? Why not, if international diversification in India largely means US, why not Europe? Why not Hong Kong? Why not Japan? Why not Korea, Taiwan, China? You need, of course there are funds available, of course there are people putting money in that, but that is because people now realize that maybe they have to pull money out of US. So I do not know. So an excessive diversification and taming of the tiger and making it look very nice and feeling that, oh, now it can't do any harm. Of course, there's another way of seeing the tiger. Go to Thailand Tiger Temple. You can get a selfie with it for a cost. You can touch it for everything you can do. But that is not the tiger that we are talking about, which is roaming in Corbett or some other forest which has not yet seen you. The reaction of a tiger to seeing a man for the first time has to be very different than the tigers. I mean, I have seen tigers in various places, and I do think that the Tadoba and all places, the tigers are waiting for you, right? It's become more like a show than like a, of course it's a wild animal. I'm not suggesting that when you go to Tadoba next, get off the jeep and try to pat it. No, it can't happen. It is wild. It is reasonably wild, or what I would call domesticated wild, in the sense that it will not attack a jeep just because it sees a jeep. But imagine how a tiger would react, a fully grown, say 4-year-old tiger, how it would react to a jeep, right? The noise of a jeep or anything, if it sees, it's bound to attack. But these tigers have been tamed. So understand, in equities also, because you do not have the patience to sit tight, you are not meditative enough. The mutual fund industry keeps coming out with schemes like multi-asset and BAF and things like that, which just tell you that, look, you have no patience to sit, so we will do the rebalancing for you. And I'm fine if I trust the fund manager to do the rebalancing, but when I don't trust the fund manager to do the rebalancing, he could just mess it up, right? If he is going to mess it up, why not mess it up yourself? At least you can avoid some of the costs of their messing up, right? Thank you.